All right, almost there, guys. Quick shout out to Beasts, or I believe it's Beasts, and he is our current streamer and obser and everything awesome in between. But getting into game one, if I can find you, there you are, three. Getting into game one of this best of five in the left-hand middle corner of Bridgehead. It is playing for only himself, the one, the only Hitman. And his opponent, the red Protoss player from Team Spectre, it is Arthur. We're on the US server, RIP. Always love the troll clans. A couple good troll clans out there that. But for now, Hitman's actually opening up what I think is going to be a very aggressive proxy pylon. Now, this is his 9 pylon, guys. Just think about that. This is his very first pylon. This is about as aggressive as you can get as Protoss, and I'm guessing it's going to be a proxy gateway, and I'm curious to see how Arthur will react, but he's not going to see it. I don't think he'll see it till it really hits him, so this is all going to be, how does he open up? Is he going to open up a little bit greedy, open up normal? But if he opens up normal, it's still going to be a very complicated to hold. We do see the first gateway started, and that probe's coming home now, so it's only going to be a 1-gate push, and Arthur is actually going to spot this right off the bat, goes up, sees it, and I mean, he's feeling confident now. You spot it before even a Zealot gets out. He's feeling good. May add on another gateway, but nope, just adding on a simulator. Feels very confident. While on the other side of the map, we do see for Hitman also doing about the same thing. And I mean, both these players played about the same, but now, I mean, literally, they've done about the same thing. The gateway is not even that much faster for Hitman than Arthur, only about 10 seconds faster. So this could end up being incredibly even. But the one thing is, once that gateway is destroyed, if Arthur can kill it, then Hitman's taking a really big hit, and is only now getting a pylon at home, and Arthur is sending his probe over. Maybe he'll try to proxy some stuff for himself, but until then, the first Zealot of Hitman is coming out. First Zealot of Arthur also on the way. It's about 30 seconds, or no, I want to say 20 seconds later. But with a little bit of micro, Arthur should be okay, especially with all the probes he can pull. He should be okay. We're going to have to see how it works out. Arthur's cybernetic score is just slightly later, so that works out great for him. Pulling probes from the assimilator, and now we'll push it back with his 1 Zealot. And that first Zealot actually took in, they're actually about the same. The first Zealot of Hitman takes a little damage, but the second Zealot is out. Now the cybernetics is done, so maybe a Mothership Core is going to come out for Arthur. He does do Warp Gate first, so I like that decision, actually playing a little bit more through the late game, especially because by the time those 2 Zealots get there, he does have 2 Zealots. He will be able to push it back. Only 1 mining gas, actually now 3 probes into Arthur mining gas, but now Zealots of Arthur and Hitman are dancing back and forth. Arthur actually took a little bit more damage here. One of them's very low, only 19 health, but still Hitman is very low himself, and does lose one of those Zealots, but probes are pulled, and one of these probes is a hero probe right here and snipes that Zealot. On the other side of the map, just to look, Cybernetics Core is done for Hitman. Gateway's on the way, and there's actually a probe of Arthur just meandering back and forth, just to make sure he knows everything that's going on. But still, now, finally, Arthur, a Stalker, and a Zealot are out. We should be able to push this all back. I'm surprised he did not make a Mothership Core. Maybe to get a photon overcharge a little bit with that, but he did scout. It was only 1 gate from Hitman, so I like that. I like his decision making here, and I think it's good. That 1 Stalker of Hitman will be pushed back, and it may actually be sniped here. It's going to depend. Can Arthur's Zealot and Stalker take out this pylon, though, before the second Stalker gets out? They're deciding no, but there is a second Stalker for Arthur coming out, and that should be able to pretty much overpower anything for Arthur, anything for Hitman, even though Hitman was slightly quicker just because he was on the offensive. There was the defender advantage going for Arthur. Arthur is adding on 2 more gateway, now a little bit farther away from his main base, and a proxy pylon on the other side of the map. While Hitman is adding on another gas, and he's only got 2 in his main, but he's actually doing the exact same thing. So I'm very surprised that these players are almost... Even though it was a proxy gate, almost in unison doing the same thing. While Hitman is on 3 gates, Arthur's also on 3 gates, but his 4th gate on the top right-hand corner for Hitman will not be active. So maybe Hitman took a little damage there, but I'm actually surprised at how even it's ended up to be. And he actually is going to warp in 3 Stalkers, and he should be able to kite relatively easily versus the 2 Stalkers and Zealot of Arthur. But one Stalker goes down for each side. It's a Stalker and a Zealot for Arthur, dancing, attempting to micro as hard as he can, microing it hard out. But that one Stalker does survive. I'd love for it to try to make its way back home. It's so low on health. He's got to be very careful, especially the Mothership Core, but 3 Stalkers, 5 Stalkers warping in for Arthur in the main base of Hitman here, trying to do as much damage as they can. He knows he needs to get some economic damage done, but now probes are being pulled, but GG! Arthur takes game 1 in a very, very aggressive game from both players, and incredibly good micro. I'm very surprised how that went. Gotta write down this game for a second. Yeah, I'm very surprised that it was honestly that close. Either I thought Hitman was going to take it really quickly, or Arthur was going to push it back and it was going to wait a while. But both players, they knew exactly what they needed to do, got up 3 gates after all that happened, but Arthur just had a little bit of an advantage because of that. I mean, it was truly just a slight advantage because of that first gate investment from Hitman, which he did not have. Did not have 4 gates on that one base, but that little investment actually kind of counteracted him, but still, he tried to get damage done, was unable to do any actual probe damage, and ended up taking that game quite decisively. Sorry, not Arthur ended up taking that game. I think I said it the wrong way, but we're going to be getting into a game 2, which is going to be on Coda, and loading into that very quickly. You may want one of us on referee, by the way, Beast. That doesn't matter anymore. Okay. All right, this is going to be Coda, so a little bit more well-known than Bridgehead. Obviously, you got some better, not necessarily better proxy positions, but both players know it a little bit better, and they know where a proxy would happen. But even with that last game, Arthur knew exactly where to check, and I'm noting that down in my Protoss. The Book of BS, I believe it was called on Team Liquid. But for now, in the bottom right-hand corner, representing only himself and the US, it is the green Protoss player. Put it together for Hitman. And his opponent in the top left-hand corner, hailing from RIP on North America from Team Spectre, it is the yellow Protoss player, Arthur. No shenanigans, at least as crazy as we saw in Game 1 going down for Hitman. He's like, okay, I tried it, didn't quite work, I'm just going to pull back and do my own thing for now. Not even do his own thing, but just play a little bit more of a standard safe game. Hitman is known for his aggression, so maybe he feels more safe with that really ballsy just proxy gates wherever he can. So the first probe to go out after that pylon will just be a scout. I thought he was going to go for like something really wacky, like a Nexus, whatever. Nexus or whatever, but it doesn't look like that. And actually, he's not putting down a gate yet. Interesting. He's actually, for Arthur, gate first, and he's going to go for a cannon rush. Now, this is a really interesting turn of events for Hitman. I have not actually seen this that much in PvP. I don't think I've ever seen this in PvP. Arthur looking like he's going to go for a gate. No, actually not going to go for a gate fast expanding. He had his probe meandering around the natural base. Will spot the probe of Hitman going up to the main. And there's the first pylon going down. Arthur is not going to see that, though. Maybe the probe going out, but no, the probe of Arthur is actually going to scout his opponent. He will get up that ramp, though, and see that forward. Sadly, it had to be a little bit of a wall off for Hitman to make it work properly, so Arthur should be able to spot it relatively quickly. But there, pylon going down. First cannon started. Second probe coming over, and we'll be able to make some cannons on the low ground, I guess, maybe. Just gonna meander on over there. But there's a gate also. Now, does Arthur see this? No, he does not see it yet. His gate is up, but now, oh, he will actually see it because one of his probes goes after Hitman's probe. The second cannon is going down. Arthur knows he needs to pull, and this is the exact amount he's pulling. 9 probes right here. 3 working on the photon cannon, 4 going after these 2 probes. He cannot let another photon cannon go down. Well, on the flip side of the map, Arthur does have a probe in Hitman's main base, but this is awesome. This is a really cool move from Hitman. And actually, 1 cannon does go down, so Arthur cannot keep pressuring against this. 1 Zealot coming out. Cybernetics core is not quite done, so he's not going to be able to get that DPS out. And finally, the second cannon is down, and it's in range of the Nexus. Remember, Arthur did win game 1, so it's currently 1-0. Hitman's trying to take this back. Arthur's Zealot is on the hand side, maybe the other side of the map. But the cannon's ow is actually not going to do any damage at all to the health of that zealot, only to the shield. So it will be able to get over the other side of the map. But Arthur actually himself starting the pylon on the bottom right hand corner, while Hitman doing a cannon. I think Hitman's going to be fine there. And these cannons doing as much damage as they can, going for the assimilator, one that can reach, 2 onto this nexus. But actually one zealot suicides hit for Hitman in. Going in as quick as he can. It killed 3 workers. Or actually, he's killed the cannons and the zealot have killed it. But I don't think Arthur can do anything with this. He knows he needs to send his units to the other side. His stalker cannot make it around those cannons. There's too many there now. And the Nexus, I'm guessing, is go down, and there's not 400 minerals for Arthur. There's not actually enough to remake that Nexus. So he's going to have to work off exactly what he has. Maybe another stalker. If we look at the other side of the map, the cannon of Hitman is working on Arthur's pylon, and now Hitman is in a fine position as probes going across the map, and maybe they're going to be able to go up and get this, but all Hitman needs to do is wall in. That's what he's doing. 3 cannons and a zealot, or sorry, no, 3 cannons for Hitman, while there is a zealot for Arthur. Let's look at what Arthur has really quickly. 2 stalkers, a mothership core, and a zealot, 15 probes. He does outgun Hitman, at least unit-wise, but not even close to cannon-wise. There's 3 cannons, as I was saying, at that ramp, and this is looking pretty scary. Let's see how Arthur deals with this. If you look at the top left, by the way, Hitman is working on a pylon with his zealot here. He does have enough for at least 1 pylon, so it comes down to that end game. He will be able to get a pylon down so to defend 1 building. But now, I mean, I do not think, yeah, because it is not enough to go up that ramp. Hitman GG takes game 2, putting it out to 1-1 right now. I have never actually seen that before in my life in a PvP go down like that. Never seen a cannon rush in PvP like that either. So really cool from Hitman. I liked that. I liked him switching it up. But I mean, as long as Arthur's very careful, he's going to be able to scout it next time. Game 1, actually, sorry, it's 2-0. Or no, it's 1-1 because Arthur won game 1. But if game 1 you proxy a gate, game 2 you do the forge, you do the cannon rush. I mean, Arthur is going to be so careful scouting everywhere, and maybe that'll hit him a little bit economically. Hitman may be able to get up that way, but I doubt Hitman's going to try it again. It did work in game 2, but that was a very close call. It almost wouldn't have worked if Arthur would have opened up slightly differently, or simply had his first probe scout that pylon. And if he scouted it going down, would have pulled 3-4 probes and been in a fine position. Now, I don't know if Droopy is back. Okay, Droopy is back, so we will have not 2v2, what am I talking about? We will have a co-caster back here, and maybe Beast, are you going to obs and are you going to obs and stream? Okay, so all right, it looks like maybe Beast will go and we will come back with the one, the only Droopy, but we're going to wait a minute just so internet clears up. He was saying he had a lot of storms going on in his area and just wanted to be really careful that wouldn't screw him over. So for now, we'll be waiting for him. But that was a incredibly surprising game 1 and 2 from Hitman. I mean, game 1, you can go for the gate fastest spin. You can do it. You maybe tilt your opponent if you win, and then if you lose, okay, it was game 1, it's okay. But game 2, that is very gutsy. Yes, he got it to 1-1, but that was as some people in our chat saying, Hitman shenanigans are so sexy. I would completely agree with you as a Protoss player myself. By the way, guys, head over to spawningtools.com, one of the sponsors of Team Gravity. Very nice people, incredibly nice people, and an incredibly nice product they put out. So just go over there if you want to be able to analyze some replays and do really cool things. I don't know if we're going to be going over to something else yet, but just hanging out. I don't know if we'll be going over to Droopy yet. We're just hanging out for now. And by the way, guys, I don't know when this was first started, but we will be having a championship. Oh, no, don't go yet. Don't go yet.
Counted sheets and completely screwed up my internet, so literally been out until just a few minutes ago. So hopefully things will be stable now, and we're going to get started with what I hear is game number 3. Is that right, Drenok?
Yes, it is game 3, currently 1-1.
Yeah, and so this is going to be big here. It's another best of 5, so we're going to find out who will take the lead once more. All right, so let's see. Terraform LE is going to be the map.
I've always wanted to see one tournament that's like, we're not going to use the ladder edition. No.
Yeah.
They use some random edition that's like completely
Right.
different textures, but it's the exact same game.
Maybe
Okay.
not even the same units.
It's
Definitely.
actually a mod. No one realized it, but zealots
Yeah.
don't do any damage at all. And they're like, what?
Yeah. There's gold bases everywhere.
Yeah, in the best of 69 between Snoot and I don't remember who else it was. Was it who was
Was
the
it
best
Bunny?
of 69?
I think it was
I think yeah, it
Bunny.
was Snoot and Bunny.
It was Bunny,
One
yeah.
of the games they accidentally did like a macro tester,
Mhm.
and so the person who lost like did less macro, and it was the funniest game ever because they didn't realize it till like they were in the game. Like wait, we can actually play a game though. It's just whoever basically whoever loses their macro first loses. Like whoever goes under 500 minerals first. So pretty funny game.
That is interesting. Maybe we can have that for a fight night. But for now, we'll
Yeah.
have to settle for these two guys, right? These, actually, really crazy Protoss players, if anything. And you guys have noticed this in the last two games. So let's find out what tricks they have up their sleeve for this one. Spawning on the bottom right-hand side of green of Terraform LE is the green Protoss. And we do have here Hitman, recently crowned a WCS Challenger. So props to him, man.
And his opponent in the top left-hand corner from Team Spectre, it is the yellow Protoss player, Arthur. I feel like if I'm in a map for the Team Liquid map contest, I'd just name it Protoss player. Here on Protoss player, we something really stupid, so it just mess with all the casters. Like
Really
man.
generic.
Yeah, like the big map. We're gonna head into the big 4-player map, big map.
Big Map LE.
yeah, the latter edition. That'd be really good. But this time, neither player opening up like they did before. And I mean, it was like a proxy 1 gate from Hitman game 1, then a cannon rush game 2. But it was like a cannon rush with a proxy gate. So I've never seen that before.
And we're seeing Arthur go ahead and scout that natural, just really concerned about the possibility of proxy, even the third as well, just to make sure there is no sneaky probe from Hitman. And yeah, I mean, both players playing very standard. Hitman also worried about the cheese as well. And both these players, I think it's so funny. I think they deserve to have to give up some of their economy because they're both such cheesy players. If it had to happen to anybody, it should be these two guys.
Yeah. Arthur last game actually lost his main Nexus and ended up losing. But for a couple seconds, I'm like, if you beat a cannon rush and pull and kill your opponent, I will be so surprised. But yeah, as I was saying, cheesing in game 1 and 2 Hitman, I mean, Arthur's got to be very like, I'm gonna check everywhere. Like I'm checking everywhere.
Yeah, indeed. But of course, everyone's building everything at home now. We got cybers on the way for both players. Hitman, saturating on double gas, same as well for Arthur. So both guys are very likely going to move into some kind of tech here. We'll see what it is going to be a commitment to. But first, it's going to be stalkers and mothership cores for both guys.
Yeah, and the first 2 games were perfect solo cast games ever because literally the 9 pylons were the proxy pylons. So I was just like, oh well, no 9 pylon probe heading across the map, so they were perfect. But these games not quite opening as much. There's still a chance for shenanigans. Both players have their probes scouting across the map. Arthur is just super careful of cheese, and I love this move you're seeing in the top right corner from Arthur. Putting it in the line of sight blockers, his probe, so it's going to be a lot harder to see, and that's a really cool thing even if like your Zerg player is trying to scout you. Just put it in a line of sight blocker and it'll hide. Like even on Bridgehead you could do that.
Yeah, that certainly is a nifty thing, especially if your opponent thinks they're being smart by going the long way around to get a unit over or something. In fact, you can actually see it coming. It's definitely a very smart, nifty maneuver there from Arthur. But Hitman, even niftier perhaps, moves his probe through the center and up, and is actually going to do a patrol over here. Let's see if he puts up a proxy pylon there. For now, it's going to be Hitman moving into Blink, chronoing that on that Twilight Council. Arthur also looking to go Blink, but the Twilight just a hair behind. Really negligible difference, but nonetheless, it is a difference. Mothership Core from Hitman attempts to move into the main base, but forced off by a stalker from Arthur, who actually can finish it off.
May actually be able to kill it.
Yeah.
Kind of moves in, he sees the opportunity. And
Oh.
what's it going to get damage done? Wow, this is actually a little scary for Arthur. We have a stalker on the way, but still 12 seconds left. And Hitman just using this to get the perfect scout. I'd almost say just get out of there now because he literally he's got the perfect scout. Sees the Twilight Council, sees everything. And he's even setting up his own proxy pylon. So this is important. He doesn't lose its mothership core. And there it is. Teleport zone.
That's funny. Both players had their mothership cores in their opponent's bases. And then they recall at the last second. We got 4 kills on Hitman's mothership core. 3 kills on Arthur's mothership core. And all workers for the most part. There's one unit that wasn't a worker killed by Hitman, and that was, of course, the Stalker. So I guess it's safe to say for now, Arthur has, I guess, the upper hand, but how much is it going to matter in the long run? We'll find out soon, as 4 Stalkers from Hitman are about to make their move. There's 5 over here for Arthur. Proxy pylon a lot closer for Hitman. Arthur has yet to put one up in front of Hitman's base. But I think he's going to play on the defensive here.
Yeah, Arthur's blink is just a little bit later, which provided him an extra stalker for this first engagement, but it ended up going slightly better for Hitman, I want to say, just because all of his units are alive, and even a 1 health stalker does the same amount of damage. But now, moving up, beautiful blinks back, and Arthur's desperately trying to defend. An Observer actually is what he's going to get out first, out of his Robo Bay, not an Immortal, so this is going to be a tricky defense. He does not have a Photon Overcharge, still 25, still about a minute actually, until he can do that. And now, these Stalkers of Hitman, that is 8, are going for probes, but all very low in health. Blink is just about done.
Yeah, this is not a fun situation for Arthur, having to pull probes, delay that mining there for a bit. Actually down by 3 probes now just in that effort, and Arthur here is behind in Stalkers as well, 6 to 11. I have just the units tab pulled up right now because it's that simple. Mothership core goes down, no more Photon Overcharge possible. I think Hitman is just going to be able to clean this up and claim victory here in Game 3, GG. And Hitman just got the step ahead when it came to the Blink Stalkers.
Yep, and I'll turn my camera back on just because it told me everything was okay during that game. But yeah, that was, I mean, honestly, right there for a second, I thought I was going to give it to Arthur. His blink was a little bit later. With the first engagement, it was 5 Stalkers to 3. But then because the blink was so quick for Hitman, he was able to get a lot more units out and able to come off of that and push forward up the ramp. My only critique is that Arthur got an Observer first out of his Robo Bay. Now, if he would have got an Immortal, I'm sure he would have been able to defend that first attack, purely because all those Stalkers were so low on health.
Yeah, and also losing that Stalker early on didn't do him any favors either. He was just down 1 from the get-go. And, you know, when it comes to a mirror matchup, everything is so equal and comparable. I mean, it's not like when it's a non-mirror match where one race has different balancing where they can sort of make up for it by, you know, getting certain types of units out faster or whatever. It's PvP. It's really straightforward. This guy has more Stalkers than this guy. Sometimes it really can be that simple, and that's kind of how it played out in Game 3.
Yep, but we're now moving on to Game 4. It is currently 2-1 Hitman. And from what I can see, I mean, Arthur was favored just going into this stat-wise. He's been in WCS for multiple seasons. He's done decently at a lot of big events. But this is still this is another guy, and Hitman's been playing very well. Next map will be Cactus Valley. What are your thoughts on Cactus Valley?
Well, a lot harder to cheese on Cactus Valley. I think that's safe to say. But that doesn't preclude the all-in, which both of these gentlemen are very adept at. So I think more of the same in a lot of ways. But we'll find out soon enough. We do have here the Green Protoss player, upper right-hand side. And like I said last game, first-time WCS challenger in NA for Season 3. Definitely the biggest accomplishment in his career. And it's nice to see it's going up because I've noticed this guy on the top of the NA ladder for quite a few seasons now, if not years. So we do have here, guys, Hitman.
And his opponent in the top left-hand spawn position. From Team Spectre, it is the yellow Protoss player. Down a game, it is Arthur. It's kind of funny because game 1 and 2, yes, they were very cheesy, but those were like the max cheesiness you could get. You can't get more cheesy than that. So they can very easily cheese. It's just not a 9 pylon cheese. That's almost what you need to call it, a 9 pylon cheese.
Yeah, of course, a big part of that is being able to find out where your opponent is. And until they start sending out some units, it's going to be quite difficult to know that. Hitman throwing down a gateway here in the base. Same with Arthur. And should remind you guys too as well that this is match point. So if Hitman is able to win one more time, he'll be able to close out the series, get $10 in his effort. Arthur, on the other hand, on the ropes, looking to stay alive here. And, well, we'll see.
Yet both players opening almost identically, except for Arthur is the first to scout. Hitman has not scouted Arthur at all, has not even sent a probe outside his base. So this could be interesting. Number one, maybe a little bit less aggression from Hitman, purely in the early game, he doesn't know where it is. But this also gives Arthur a little bit of an edge. He's got a scout, and he knows where his opponent is, so if he tries to go for some quick aggression, it's going to have a much better chance of happening than Hitman's.
Difference from what Arthur's doing from Hitman is we're seeing just 4 probes on gas. Actually, not anymore. He just saturated them now as he was waiting on some more minerals for the Cyber. And both players are still playing identically here. We see Hitman sending his probe down here. What's this doing over here?
As I was saying, you can cheese without it being on the 9 pylon, so maybe Hitman put in a proxy here. Remember that he has not scouted where his opponent is, so he's gambling it's either the bottom left or bottom right, but it's not. It's in the top left-hand corner where Arthur is based, and both these players so even, it's actually going to be a proxy Stargate. Now, this is a big gamble. You could get, let's just, either he goes Oracle, Phoenix. Either one of those, you have a bigger chance. You have a 66% chance that Arthur is in the bottom left or bottom right. And if it's not, then you just kind of have a hidden Stargate out on the field.
Yeah, and I guess, you know, worst case scenario, you're making an Oracle from it or a Phoenix. Either are going to be fairly quick at, you know, getting to where there should be. But Hitman is going to be pretty disappointed as soon as he gets over here to the bottom left. I was almost wondering if he just wanted to say proxy a tech structure, not so much a production structure, so maybe like a Twilight or something, just to hide that, or eventually maybe a DT shrine or something if he wanted to do that, but looks like, of course, he has gone for Stargate instead, and it is going to be an Oracle. Now, Arthur is doing a Stargate as well. He's building it in his base, and he's rallied it directly to Hitman's. So if he tries to make this an Oracle, which he is, this could get very interesting very shortly.
Yeah. Now, the biggest, I was going to say, I like your idea of proxying a tech structure because Arthur was in Hitman's base for so long, but the big thing here is both players have their mothership cores at home. The Oracle of Hitman is it can get to Arthur's main base quicker, yes, but there's going to be a photon overcharge. And because the Stargate is so much closer, it's in the main of Arthur, he's going to be able to get out of Phoenix if he wants to. So it's going to be dicey. Arthur does spot the Oracle coming in, and I assume will photon overcharge. Yep, not even one kill.
Yeah, immediately turned away. We do have Arthur armed with a Stalker as well, if necessary, to chase down a straggling Oracle. Now we're about to see Arthur's Oracle make its debut. Again, very well defended here from Hitman. Oh, but Arthur is targeting down a couple probes. Just one kill, though. He is going to get away. But good thing for Hitman. Didn't have to activate his photon overcharge.
Now, an interesting thing with this is that Arthur did not scout that Stargate originally. He does not know what's going on, what's going to come out of that, so he's actually making a Phoenix. I think he's a little bit afraid that you're going to see more air coming out of Hitman, but no, Hitman's actually added on a couple of gateways. Actually, they're on the same amount of gateways, but he's going Blink. So yes, he'll be able to defend this Oracle, but Arthur is very in the dark about what Hitman's doing, even though he does have an Oracle for himself, because that Stargate was proxied.
And with that overcharge expiring, Hitman was able to sneak in there, sacrifice his Oracle, but he got 4 kills out of it. So he's definitely up in the probe count at the moment, at the expense of that Oracle. Arthur's still looking for an opportunity here as Photon Overcharge was forced by that Oracle. Hitman right now just, you know, letting that do the work as he's trying to move in with these Stalkers and not have to keep them at home to deal with an Oracle. We'll see Stutter stepping backwards. Probes being pulled briefly here. Arthur right now, can he hold this mothership core? Is going to go down. Not that there was an overcharge available on it anyway.
Mothership core does go down. 5 Stalkers to the 4 Stalkers of Hitman. Did he get any kills? He did. He got 5 kills right there. Now, the one thing to remember also is that Phoenixes can pick up some of these units, but I think Arthur still is worried about more air, so he's not going to be doing that. But actually now, Hitman targeting down Arthur's Stalkers. Well, 2 Stalkers go down, well, another Stalker goes down. It's currently 5 Stalkers to 4. Just a couple more of Arthur coming in, but they try to chase and take a little bit extra damage because of that. This is 1-for-1 right here. Well, same time, Oracle of Arthur went into the main base and actually pushes all the probes out of that. Nothing at home to defend. And where's the Mothership Core?
No, it's not just simply pushing the probes out. The probes going back, just walk right into the rays of the Oracle. No choice there for him, and has to go back in line, do something. But this Oracle did so much damage, 15 kills in total. And Arthur microed so well back at home against these Stalkers. If he holds this off, it's game over, basically. I mean, Hitman, actually, that's not entirely true. Hitman's down by 4 workers because Arthur's lost a lot, too, having to pull probes. But I think the greater point I should be making is that Arthur held off really well against the greater number of Stalkers. The fact that, well, Hitman has Blink, Arthur does not. And he wasted quite a few resources on making Phoenix that aren't doing anything, but he is still holding strong here. I don't see Hitman breaking through this at all.
Arthur does have this one Phoenix. I'd love for him to pick up a Zealot, something just to take a little bit of the damage away, but I agree with you. Arthur has almost held it. I'd say it held it. Not only that, but his Oracle will go down. I was going to say he's an offensive option, not only defensive, while Hitman is purely offensive here, and will be blinking back. We'll have to get out of there. 3 Stalkers, 1 Zealot, and still Hitman has 5, 6 Stalkers. We'll be able to keep pushing this off, but Hitman's got to be very careful. 3 of these Stalkers, 4 of these, actually, yeah, 4 of these Stalkers so low on health, and Arthur has not been able to get out a Sentry, nothing like that, because of the gas cost, but still, now that he's got a Zealot, the Zealot has a lot more health, and is really able to kind of push back and box out a lot of these Stalkers to stop them, but Zealot goes down for Arthur, and another Zealot coming in, but Arthur's got to be so careful. He did not make a round of Stalkers. He made a whole bunch of probes and queued them up, but his Phoenix is still just hanging out right there. He needs to use that Phoenix eventually, like maybe for Mothership Core, but he could pick up the Zealot, and then all the Stalkers would go for the Phoenix, and then he could get some damage done, but he's just kind of sitting back there.
What's funny right now is Hitman is still on 11 workers. He's all-inning on 11 guys, 11 probes. But Arthur's actually losing the battle at home right now because he doesn't have Blink. Hitman finally being able to use that Blink to his advantage. And he's got the Stalker advantage. Some probes being forced off now the line by Hitman as he's losing the rest of the Stalkers. Arthur actually has to GG. Hitman managed to make it happen with 11 workers for the last 5 minutes there. GG, and he will have the series at 3-1.